Hello, Simmers. Welcome back to the Plumbob Cafe podcast. I hope you have some water, tea, or coffee ready for today's episode. I'm your host, Morbid Gamer, and we are back with another one. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about the hashtag #StopEAAbuse that was circling around Twitter. It's kind of cold, stay old tea by now, I know, but we're still going to chat about it. We have the Discover University trailer that dropped recently. We're just going to chat about everything that we saw within that trailer. It's a lot, so strap in. Also, we're going to talk about the end of Sims 4. Dun, dun, dun. Is the end of Sims 4 coming? Also, more Sims 5 news. Where there is death, there is life. So let's get into it. Hello everyone. Oh my god, it's so good to be back. I've missed this so much, but we've been on a bit of a hiatus. Honestly, it was one of the most boring reasons why, and I'll divulge in a second, but honestly, I've been wanting to come back for the longest. And now that we're back, it just feels so good to just chat and like just kind of ramble on, because that's something that I'm really good at. I don't know if that makes me a good host, but it's something that I'm pretty good at. I just love to go on and on and on and on and just chat by myself. Well, technically not, because somebody's got to be listening, right? Hopefully. That's what we're kind of hoping for and crossing our fingers. But anyways, the reason we've been gone is honestly the worst reason, and it's because we did not have a premium account on SoundCloud, and one of our episodes got taken down, and I didn't know if I wanted to like pay the $16 fee a month for it, but honestly, I really love it that much and doing these podcasts that it's kind of worth it. So this is hopefully the last time we go on a hiatus and the last time we have issues with the podcast. So I think one of our episodes got taken down off of iTunes and Spotify because SoundCloud took the first episode down. We didn't have enough in our archive to have it up. So hopefully it's back up now. But this is episode 6 or 7, somewhere around there. How do I not know my own episodes? Yes, this is episode 6, officially. So, hi. Love that. Love that for us. Anyways, we are going to be jumping into what it is that we're going to talk about. But before I do want to go ahead and shout out the fact that you can reach us pretty much anywhere, you guys. So, I do have a Twitter at Jazio, JA3ZIO. So, you can get into contact with me for future episodes if you want to hear about certain topics, or like you just want to fill me in on something and we should chat about it. You're more than welcome to. I know on some platforms we do have our email up on there, so you can always write us there. And if this is on YouTube, comment down below always, whenever, for whatever it is that you want to hear in future podcast episodes. You're more than welcome to just drop topics down below. So I just wanted to point that out. Because we do have some questions that we got submitted on Instagram, which is lovely. Love that for us. So we are going to delve into that. But yeah, let's just hop into it, you guys. I have my coffee ready because it's pretty early in the morning. Hate that for me, but you know, at the same time, love that. So cheers to that. Anyways, hope you guys are chilling or maybe driving into work. Having this on in the background, cleaning, whatever it may be. But we are going to delve into the first topic, which is this hashtag #StopEAAbuse. Now, first things first, I feel like this deserves a little bit of history, a little bit of context, like what's going on. This is actually a hashtag circling on Twitter, and it is the hashtag #StopEAAbuse. It sounds very daunting. It does, because when I first heard it, I thought it was something really, really crazy and bad, something along the lines of physical, mental, verbal, sexual abuse over at the EA headquarters, which is not that far-fetched, if we're being honest. Not today, especially that one company where some, like, I think it was some head high up there person working in some game company who's just not conducting themselves right within the workplace, and I think he got fired or like something happened. So I didn't think it was so far-fetched that something along those lines was happening now again at EA. So that's where my mind first went to. And you can't lie. When you first hear the abuse part, that's kind of where your mind goes to. So that is the main reason why Simmers and people in the community were very upset about this hashtag. And I guess rightfully so. Everyone's allowed to feel the way that they feel. And I'm not going to lie and sugarcoat it, because I felt the exact same way. I felt some type of way about the hashtag. I didn't feel like it was right. And the reason that I say that I don't feel right about it is because I feel like the crime didn't fit the punishment. I guess that's the saying that we're going with. It kind of fits, I guess. But I felt that way because where this hashtag stems from is Simmers not feeling like The Sims 4 is up to par for what it is that they feel The Sims 4 should be, you know, because this is the 4th generation, obviously, Sims 4. It's the 4th generation in the Sims franchise. We've had Sims 1, which was out the gate, you know, it's the first thing of it. It's the first one of its kind back in the 2000s, so that was that. Then we had Sims 2, which made, like, it was leaps forward and more advanced than the first Sims. And obviously, because it's, you know, we improve, and like it's the Sims 2, it's next generation. So they clearly corrected what happened in the Sims 1, made it better. And honestly, Sims 2 is the most beloved, the most loved out of all the generations. I will say, I see that a lot more often than none. People just love the Sims 2. It has so many activities, so many features, it's just really good. Sims 3 made even more leaps forward with the open world, the creative like aspect to it, with the color wheel and create a style, and just really customizable, and like everything is just crazy how open and free that expansion was, and it just built even more off of the last two. And then we get Sims 4, which just probably wasn't up to par to what people thought The Sims 4 was going to be. They thought they were going to expand even more on it. And instead, they kind of dialed back. They went a little backwards. And a lot of people are not happy with that. And rightfully so. You have the right to feel however you feel. And I have to agree. I don't feel like The Sims 4 is up to par to what the old generations were like. I don't think so. And I voice that all the time. I have no issue voicing that. But to sit here and put this hashtag together just felt a little bit wrong to me personally. So there is more context here. The Stop EA Abuse started from the Latin/Spanish community, the Spanish-speaking community in The Sims 4. This is where this started from. Now, again, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this started with the Spanish-speaking Sims 4 community. And in Spanish, abuse is abuso. Abuso doesn't have the same, well, it has generally the same meaning in English, but I think the way it sounds to Spanish speaking people, it's not the same as in English. When you hear English, abuse just has a really strong connotation. In Spanish, I feel like we use that all the time. My mom used to use that all the time on us. She used to say, no abuses. And like, it's just a saying that we say. It doesn't seem that harmful when we say it in Spanish. And that happens a lot when you translate one word to another language. It just, sometimes the translation gets lost, and sometimes it just has other meanings and other connotations. It just, it's not always the same. So I think whoever started this hashtag movement could have been a Spanish speaking or bilingual or whatever. They just wanted to make it in English because the majority of, I think the simming community is majority English. I'm almost certain of that fact. So most likely what they did is that they thought of the hashtag maybe in Spanish, translated it, and that's what you get, the Stop EA Abuse. The only thing is that it was lost in translation. Doesn't really mean or sound the same or have the same ring to us that it does in Spanish to English. So that is where it's just, that's where I said in the beginning, the crime doesn't fit the punishment. And I don't think that's the best saying to go with, honestly, but it's the best one that comes to mind right now. I just don't think that hashtag fit what it was in the movement that they were trying to go with. It just didn't, because like I said in the beginning, it just sounded like there was abuse going on over at EA headquarters. It just did not sound right to me. So I think after people voicing that opinion, again, there was a lot of back and forth and fighting within the simming community, as there kind of always is recently. Again, this generation is very polarizing. It's like you got people on both ends. again, I don't agree and I don't like the hashtag, but since then, we have seen some other hashtags kind of emerge from that because people, it was polarizing. There was people on one end and people on the other end, either justifying the hashtag Stop EA Abuse hashtag and the others really hating on the hashtag and not agreeing. Well, not hating, but you just didn't agree with it. So we've started some new hashtags up in there. We have the hashtag EA Listen or Justice for The Sims 4, which I think is so much more appropriate. I think that's the proper word when it comes to this whole debacle. And that's like, how appropriate is it? And I don't think the Stop EA hashtag personally is appropriate. I much more prefer the hashtag EA Listen. That one suits it a whole lot more because in the end, all we really want is for The Sims 4 to just be better. That's all we want. We just want developers to listen. We just want to be a fun game. In the end, it's just a game and it's something that we're really passionate about, but it's just the game. It's the only game. So I just had to throw that quote in there. Anyways, so that's really all I have to speak on this. I wanted to be known. This is part of our history in the Sims community. I don't agree with it. Some people might think it's justified. Either or, I disagree. And we should do better. And The Sims 4 should be better. So I think we can all agree on that part. Anyways, moving on from that topic, we are going to talk about the Discovery University trailer that dropped for The Sims 4, which is really exciting because I'm not going to lie, the last few trailers they've been alright. They're not I don't think they were the greatest, but I think this one just showed a good amount of footage and gameplay and stuff that were coming to the with this new expansion for The Sims 4. This is our 10th expansion. I'm not really sure. Don't quote me on that one. I'm not really certain because we have a bajillion DLC. So I really like this trailer in what it had to show, and there was a lot. So we're going to go through it all. So first things first, the thing that really stood out to me and what stands out right now is piercings. Piercings in The Sims 4 They haven't made their debut. They're not here yet. But with the new trailer, there was just so many people and so many Sims with piercings. They were like, "Hi, how are you? We're making our debut. Hello. We're coming to The Sims 4." And this is one of those things that I really do believe should have been in the core base game already. So many people have piercings. I have a nose piercing. I don't think there's nose piercings in The Sims 4. So I think we're getting that now. But so many people I know have piercings, and that's just the regular old ear piercings. And there's just so much more because people like to express themselves, and the fact that we now get them is a little disappointing. And not gonna lie, roused me up just a little bit, but it's fine because it's just piercings, right? Anyways, we're finally getting them. There's so many Sims in the trailer with them, and that's great. I think it's great for everybody. Not only piercings, but we're also getting tattoos. I think I saw so many Sims with the tiny little tattoos, which is really cute because I feel in newer generations, especially millennials and Generation Z, I don't know if this is a fact or not, but I feel I notice a lot more people with tinier tattoos, little tiny pieces, not actual full arm sleeves. It's just a little here, a little there. That I feel that's very, very new, very millennial, and very Generation Z. I don't know personally, but I could be wrong. Anyways, I like that we get the little tiny tattoos, which I saw a lot of. I saw a flower and a cat. And I think I saw an equation on somebody, which I love. Because we need a little bit more of the tinier little tattoos, the cutesy ones. Anyways, we also got bicycles, which I thought was really funny because it's something that stood out, of course, to everybody. Because we've been wanting cars. It's a known fact in the Sims community that we've been wanting cars, and it doesn't look like we're gonna get cars, but you never know. You never know. So we got bicycles before we got cars. And granted, we have boats, we have jet skis, we have bikes now, I guess, and I think that's the only transportation that we have, quote unquote transportation, not vehicles, but you know what I'm talking about. So bikes, I thought it was very trolly just because I'm pretty sure the developers know that we've been wanting cars for the longest, and they're like, well, you're not getting cars. You get bikes. Here, that's what you get. And honestly, the bikes could go one of two ways. The bikes, you can either ride off into a loading screen and go into a new map, and that's all it does. Honestly, that's probably one of the things that it would probably do. Or in university, because I feel like the campuses are on big lots, one big giant lot, I think you'll be able to ride your bike to and here and from and there. Like, not, like, honestly, they'll just probably pedal around the campus and that's it. The trailer, it shows her riding her bicycle around the campus, but that's the trailer. Honestly, it could just be showing you that, and you can't even really do that. Watch it just be able to go like 2 feet, and then she gets off, and that's that. So that's one of the two things, and I'm not that excited about bikes. I wish that the bikes were available for children, I mean, because that'd be really cute. And if they're not available for children, I'm going to be very upset because we need more stuff for the younger audiences. We need more stuff for children and elders. And this would be perfect for children. I don't know about elders, but so that'd be perfect for that. We are also getting prosthetic limbs, which was something that I spotted really early on in my trailer reaction to Discover University, because I did do a trailer reaction to it, and I spotted this one dude with a prosthetic robot looking arm. And I thought that was really interesting because a lot of people have been voicing their opinions on disabilities, because in real life there are people with disabilities. That's like a known fact. Like, it's kind of like a duh moment, like duh, Morbid. But anyways, people have disabilities. So I wonder what it's like for someone with a disability to maybe make themselves in The Sims 4 the same way. I don't know, because we've never had that before. So if the prosthetic limbs, I don't know if it is a prosthetic limb. It looks more like a robot arm accessory, which I'm honestly going to be very disappointed if that is the case, that it's just a robot arm that you can make in your robot class, or I don't know what it is, because there is a robot like activity. I think it's like an organization, event, club. I don't know what it is. Anyways, we'll talk a little bit more about that more in depth, but I don't know if this is just something that you can make within that club, class, organization, and then you just wear it, which is probably most likely the case and what it is that it's going to be. But I honestly did hope that we were going to get prosthetic limbs and show off more like disabilities and be a little bit more diverse, because I feel like The Sims 4 is really known for that, and having just paving the way for more diversity in this generation. That's really, I think, something that stands out to me when it comes to The Sims 4. So it'd be nice to have that and show off like prosthetics and prosthetic limbs. That'd be really cool and really neat to have. So here's hoping. I really do doubt it. I don't think that's going to be the case, but here's hoping. Not only do we get prosthetic limbs, but we also get robots, which was something that's been in past generations of The Sims. But not only was I excited when I first saw this, I'm not gonna lie, I got a little upset afterwards because I saw there were robots that made a comeback. But hello, what about Bonehilda? Bonehilda's been around since Sims 1, and she's an icon, a legend. She's the queen. She's everything and more, and we deserved a comeback. She deserved so much more than what it is that she got, which was being forgotten and left behind in The Sims. And it's honestly so quirky, and like Sims 4 is all about being freaking quirky. I feel like they're heading in a different direction now lately, especially with marketing. It's a bit more serious and more like, oh, we really want to simulate life. But like, Sims are always going to be naturally quirky because they're Sims. They speak in their own weird language. They just look that part. If you spend like a good while playing Sims, you'll know what I'm talking about. They're naturally just that way. But I honestly, Bonehilda is like Quark to the max. So like, she is a walking skeleton with a maid outfit that you call upon in a coffin, and you call her to clean up after you, and she's basically like your maid. Anyways, we don't have time for me to go on a rant about Bonehilda, but we are getting robots, which I guess is neat. We do get drones. I did see a drone in the trailer. We already have drones that came in with Get Famous, but honestly, I'm kind of intrigued with this drone because that drone was meant to, like, of course, record and all that, but I wonder if they're going to use the same system and it's just going to be for recording, or does this drone do something new? Does it do something different? Like, why would they reintroduce drones if it's just going to do the same thing? I have no idea. Maybe they thought people would buy this pack more than they did Get Famous, and you can have drones again in this pack, and like you can have it if you didn't have it in that one, you can have it in this one. I have no clue. I'm hoping that's not the case and they've added something different to this drone, but we'll see. We also get soccer, which is kind of like an activity. I honestly don't think it's going to be a sport. I don't think we're going to have teams. I don't even think that's possible within coding to actually, unless you're playing like FIFA, like that's also an EA property, but unless you're playing like FIFA 2019, like, no, I don't think they're gonna have actual games. Would I love a rabbit hole like game? Because sports are a big thing when it comes to college. Like, you get big rivalries between schools. You have football games, soccer, or basketball. Like, that's such a big part of university and college life. And the fact that maybe we might not get actual sports events would be kind of a letdown. I would honestly be more than happy with rabbit holes, because there's no way that you can actually simulate teams and people going and playing the game, going head first and in a match. That's just not possible. I don't think it's possible. It honestly sounds really hard, but I just don't think that's a thing. So this basketball, I think that people were bouncing around, was kind of like a reiteration of the hacky sack that we had. I don't know if it was Sims 2 or Sims 3, but we had like a hacky sack that you could just mess around with and play with. And I think this is the same thing, but except with like a soccer ball. So yeah, I really want a sporting event though. That's basically what I gathered from that soccer ball, is that I just want a sporting event, even if it's a rabbit hole. So we also get mini fridges, which is cool, in dorm rooms. So I think we had mini fridges in the past. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure. Either it was CC or we actually got mini fridges. But I'm starting to think that it maybe was downloadable custom content that I got online in The Sims 3. Because I'm pretty sure I used them a lot in The Sims 3. So we get mini fridges, which is nice because I'm only thinking about like mini houses that I can now build with this mini fridge. It's going to be awesome instead of using the cooler. Like when you make tiny little homes, that's exactly like, it's going to be so useful. So I'm glad we get mini fridges. I like how I'm thinking about mini houses instead of like the fact that you get mini fridges for your dorm. Anyways, we get mini fridges. We also get laptops, which I had a bone to pick with that laptop, if I'm being completely honest, because that laptop looks like it was made back in 2005. Like with the big, you know what I'm talking about? Those big old black thick laptops that people carried around, that Windows laptop. Honestly, it reminds me of that. And it's like, we're living in 2019. The laptops couldn't be more thin. Have you heard of the MacBook Air? Hello. Like, I don't know. They don't look modern to me. They look really old, unless the Sims 4 is taking place back in like the 2000s. Then that makes sense, but I don't think so. So, can we just get like a nice new looking computer? Like very sleek. I guess that's what I want. It's honestly a really tiny nitpick for me. I'll agree. I'll say that I think it's just a tiny little nitpick, but it's something that I want. Please. Anyways, we also get mascots, which is really cool because there's two schools. All right, let's talk about the two schools that we get. There is is it Brightchester? Yeah, it's Brightchester and Foxbury. The two schools that we get, which are rival schools, and that's not been done before. And I love that because there's two different schools that you can choose from. Whereas before, you just go to that one same school. Everybody goes to the same school. It's kind of like, okay, we get it. Boring. Anyways, you get to choose between two, which is really nice. And I think the campuses, at first, I thought they were on one big giant lot. And then they would go head to head that way, like, they're rivals, but they're like on the same lot. So it's kind of like fighting for territory kind of thing. And that's why they're so upset. That's why they're rivals, because they're so close to each other. But no, they're actually on different campuses, which I'm not going to lie, I really love that, if that's the case. Because at first I didn't think so. But I think that is, and I'm excited because then you get to choose between two different schools that you want to go to, and at least now your Sims can be like, oh, I was from Foxbury, like that was my alma mater, and then your other Sim can be like, oh, well, I went to Brightchester, and I don't know, I just really love that. Although, not gonna lie, I like Foxbury so much more than Brightchester because Brightchester just sounds like or looks like that old stuck up like ancient elitist ass school that I don't know, not for me personally. Foxbury is really cool and modern looking and advanced, and I just love that. I love anything modern. I feel like people who like not follow me but like know me a little bit more, you're probably sick of me saying the word modern. The amount of times that I say modern is just, I should be getting paid. I should get a nickel for every time I say modern. But anyways, we get mascots with them. We get one is like a cute little dragon. I'm not gonna lie, Brightchester has the cooler mascot. It's a little dragon, it like throws out flames, and then the other school, Foxbury, gets, which you'd think it'd be a fox. Foxbury? Bruh. Anyways, it's a lobster. I like the lobster. The lobster is funny as heck. There was a lobster in the background during the shower woohoo, which, by the way, we get shower woohoos when he's like walking by in the background, and like the mascot, the guy who's in the costume, and has just the lobster head. It was so funny, honestly. But we get those mascots. They're so cute. We get shower woohoos, which I honestly forgot to put on my list, but thank you to the mascots for reminding me. We get woohoos, which, by the way, just want to add in that Wicked Whims has been doing shower woohoos since the beginning. Just want to point that out there. Just kidding. Kidding, not kidding, because some people don't play with mods, I know, and some people don't even really like to play with Wicked Whims because it's so out there, but they've been doing it since the get-go, so nothing new here for me, because that's been available for me, but it's nice to at least have it in the game now, something that you're able to do, because you can do beds, jacuzzis, bushes, and now showers, and I don't think I'm missing anything. I think, and closets, that's about it. That's like the 5, I think, locations. There might be more. I might be missing some. Don't yell at me. It's fine. We also get juice pong and juice keg. I saw beer pong and keggers, because it's rated T for teens. Not rated M for mature, so there's no alcohol involved. Quote unquote, there's no alcohol involved. Wink, wink. But there is juice pong and juice. They're like juice kegs, I'm pretty sure, because I saw someone doing a keg stand. Fun fact, I didn't go to college, so this is why I really love this expansion, but I'd never done a keg stand ever in my life. I helped my sister do one once, and we weren't even in college. No one was in college. It was just a party at a house, so I don't know why we were doing that. Anyways, I think that's about it. Oh, we do have the school activities within like the school, which were debate. There was, I think, robotics, if I'm not mistaken. There was art, and I could be missing one, but those were like, there's some organizations or like activities for you to do within the school, which is really cool. They're like extracurricular activities. And we saw the debate within the trailer. We saw the robotics thing. I don't know what it is or what it's called officially. And then we saw the art class in like the first second of the trailer. I think you could see like people painting on the ground. So that's really nice. We also get bathroom stalls, which is another thing. It's another one of those things that I feel like should have been in the base game to begin with. And I'm upset that it's not in the base game to begin with. And we're barely getting it now. Granted, we were fighting, I think, the old producer or senior producer, executive producer. I don't know who I forget his name all the time. But yeah, I remember there was Simmers fighting tooth and nail, just kidding. But they were like tweeting him always about like bathroom stalls. And honestly, I think he was a little annoyed at the fact. He was like, you're not getting bathroom stalls. Like, shut up. You're not getting them. And I think he stepped down from Sims 4. Hint, hint, probably to work on Sims 5. I don't know. That's the conspiracy theory. Or that's the theory. But since he stepped down, I guess people at EA were like, well, I guess we should give them bathroom stalls? I don't know. I don't know how that goes down. I don't know how the conversation goes down. But anyways, we're getting bathroom stalls. So That's the thing. We also get mischief, like pranks and stuff. I saw them TPing something on the school grounds, and I was so upset at this in this portion. I honestly was not excited about this. The only reason that I'm not excited about it and I'm kind of upset over it is because of the fact, again, because I feel like young adults get everything in the game. I don't know if I mentioned this already, but I was kind of hoping that teens were going to get included in Discovery University because they don't have anything to do. And honestly, if they don't graduate from high school and then go into university life, I'm gonna be upset because how do you just go to school one day and then the next year, like, you become a young adult and then you go to university? I feel like the Sims 4 lacks so much for children, teens, and elders. And if my teens cannot graduate at least high school and then we'll move on to university, I'm gonna be upset. At least if it were a rabbit hole. I'll take a rabbit hole, honestly. But I really thought that they were going to incorporate, or I hoped that they were going to incorporate something with teens into this. Because, again, when you graduate high school, you're still a teenager. When you go into college, you're still a teenager. You may exit out as an adult, and adults do go to college. But when you think about it, it's mostly teens that just head into college and then come out as adults. So I really did hope that that was going to be the case. It's not the case. These all look like grown adults, and it's just another activity for them to do, and it's really geared towards young adults, and I honestly dislike that. I dislike that because I want to play with not all generations, but all ages, all lifespans, and at the moment, the only ones that I have fun with playing are young adults, and that needs to change because we don't always just want to play as young adults and leave behind our children, teens, and elders. That's just not fair. I don't think it is. But anyways, yeah, and then we get graduation parties, drinking games. I think I already mentioned that in the shower woohoos. So there was just a lot to cover in the trailer. There's just so much, and I love it. Honestly, it looks like it's going to be a grand old time, and I'm excited for November 15th. I think it's when it drops. I think the first Friday of November is when the Maxis Monthly is, or I think they're going to showcase gameplay and talk about the Sims 4 Discovery University. So I'm so excited to just really watch and see all the get all the tea, man, and see what this expansion is going to be all about. Anyways, we've ranted so much about Discovery University, so now let's move on to the end of The Sims 4, because some people are speculating now that we've got Discovery University, what is left for The Sims 4 lifespan? We already have so many stuff packs, that's for sure. We already have game packs, and now we have the final expansion packs that I think people are really wanting. What really is left for The Sims 4? And that has a couple people upset that The Sims 4 might be ending. Honestly, I'm a little upset too if that is the case and if that's true. But when I really think about it, I think the player base of The Sims 4 has been growing. I don't think that they're going to end it anytime soon. Not right now. I think it might have one more year left or two, for being generous, and people over at EA, the people up on top, are being really generous. We might still get 2 more years, but honestly, I think we might just end up getting 1. But here's hoping 2 more years. That's still a long way to go, and I think people are just upset that we're going to be moving on, but there's always going back to The Sims 4. The Sims 4 doesn't go anywhere. You're always going to be able to go back and venture to previous generations, always. So it's not like it's the complete end. I don't think that I'm ready to move on just yet. I'm ready, but at the same time, I'm not. So I think I'm in that halfway point where have 1 foot on The Sims 4, 1 foot leaning towards The Sims 5, if we even get a Sims 5. So I'm halfway there. I'm not ready, but I'm kind of ready. So I don't know. We'll see what's to come. But I also, another thing that I think people feel sad about, or they don't feel like they're ready, is because The Sims 4 will be, the old game. People don't really talk about old games, and it's kind of sad to think about that. We're not ever, Sims 4 is not going to be the topic that everyone's talking about anymore. It'll just be another generation of the past and moving on to the more current game. And people don't update or create new mods for it. That's not the case always, but there's less people focused in on the old generations. Granted, you can still find the old CC. They're always archived. There's always mods. Like, there's still mods to this day for 2, 3, those generations, and custom content for 1, 2, and 3. So it's like, it'll all always be there. It's just, I think it just won't be the hot topic, like the topic of what everyone references to the current sim. That won't be the current sim anymore. So I think that's just really, it makes people sad. It makes me a little sad, but I'm ready for something new, not gonna lie. And that leads us to more Sims 5 news. So recently someone posted on Twitter this picture, and before I get into it, a little like history, a little context. In the past, it's a known thing that things in Build By have hints to future stuff that is coming to either The Sims 4. No, always to The Sims 4. So I think it's hinted seasons. I think it's hinted dogs and toddlers before. And lo and behold, we've gotten all that. Obviously, because we have Sims 4 Seasons, we have Sims 4 Cats and Dogs, and we had Sims 4 Parenthood that introduced toddlers. And so they all pretty much come true. So now, there's been a Build By item that was patched in recently. It was this archway that was, I think it came, or like, it was inspired by Middle Eastern kind of architecture. I know in that patch we got some new items. We had like Middle Eastern clothing, and I know we got hijabs and all that. So it's definitely inspired from there. And in the patch, we got some new items. It's an arch that I'm talking about. It's called Arch E. You can find it in Build By right now, currently in Sims 4. So it should be in base game, even if you don't have all the expansions or you're missing some. It should be in there because it's base game. There's this Arch E, but I'm going to read it verbatim. So here we go. There were 4 prototypes. The first prototype didn't open. The second prototype refined the concept, removing the defect by making a hole. The third prototype increased the size of the hole. The fourth prototype removed the sharp edges that were causing an increase in workplace accidents. The fifth arc, E, should be great. So that's the end of the quote. That's the end of the description of arch. I keep saying arc. I mean, it could be arc. It could be arch. Either way, Arch E the description is very cryptic, and let's just break it down. So the first line says there were 4 prototypes, which stands for the 4 generations of The Sims, Sims 1, 2, 3, and 4, that have been released thus far. The first prototype didn't open, which I think is just maybe a reference to this, the first one. It's not the best, but it started it, so it wasn't maybe open world, or like you couldn't really do much. It was more restricted, something along those lines, hopefully. And then the second prototype refined the concept. So, the first one was the first, but the second one, really, and I do believe this because if you look at The Sims 1 to The Sims 2, you can see a drastic change. So definitely refine the concept of what was The Sims 1. So removing the defect by making a hole. Like, I don't know what they're going on about this hole. Removing the defect by making a hole. I have no idea what that could be referenced to, but it's there. Anyways, moving on to the next line, it says the third prototype increased the size of the hole. So I think this one is referring to the open worldness, the worlds around. It was so much bigger in scale as a game. It was crazy. And to this day, people can't even really run it that well. So it definitely lives up to that. It was a really crazy, free an experience, honestly. So the fourth prototype removed the sharp edges that were causing an increase in workplace accidents. So I think what it's talking about is that in Sims 3, we just talked about how big and crazy and free and customizable that it was. It was definitely really, really, really hard to play that game. It was really straining on people's computers. I know it was on mine. I know it took me forever just to load up the game. And by the time my dad was like, get off the computer, it's time's up, like go do homework, I'd be like, oh no, but I barely started playing. And that was always the case because it just took so long. It was just really hard on computers. Anyways, so I do think it removed sharp edges that were causing an increase in work accidents. Like, it probably people's games were crashing and all this stuff. It took a lot to run that game. Anyways, and the last line says, the 5th Arch E should be great. So they're referencing and maybe like hinting towards the fact that they know, or whoever wrote this description, whoever was over the developers, they must have some insight. They must know what it is that's coming in the future. They could know, or maybe they're just trolling. They could be just trolling. I hope it's not the case, because that's not funny. That's not funny if you're just trolling and trying to, like, I don't know. But anyways, if they are hinting towards a 5th Sims, then that is crazy, because that means that we are getting a Sims 5, and we'll see in the future. Who knows when Sims 5 is going to come, but it's probably going to be later down the line for sure. And I'm excited. I like to think that this is like facts. Whoever wrote this knows it, and they're just trying to like really hint. I hope that it's not a troll. Like, a part of me does feel like it is, but like for the majority, I do think that they wrote this knowing what it is that they know, and that is hopefully a Sims 5. But yes, that's all I really have on more Sims 5 news. It's just that's been circulating. It's really got like the pot stirring and people speculating, oh my god, are we getting a Sims 5 kind of thing? And here it is, here and now, me saying I think we are. But now we're going to move on to a little bit of some questions that I got. I did post on Instagram, our community tab on YouTube, and I think on the Discord, because I do have a Discord, but I posted if anyone wanted to hear any topics, and we got some back on Instagram. So thank you for those who posted this. Someone asked which Sims pack does not live up to the hype after the release. And this is really easy for me, because honestly, I got burned with this expansion pack, and that is the Island Living. I get the titles confused sometimes, but yeah, it's Island Living, the one that came with Sulani. So I saw that trailer at EA Play, because I went to EA Play. It's free for everybody. You can show up, join, so long as you have the ways to get there and travel to there. It's just free for anybody. And I went and I experienced the trailer firsthand right there, and then with like the crowd and the audience, and it was so much hype, you guys. I was so hyped. The fact that we were able to swim in the water, because we weren't able to swim in the water previously. You could not get into any body of water. It was a no-no. You could not even access that point. But the fact that we were able to now swim in the water and enjoy fun in the sun with clear blue, nice looking water and a beach, a beautiful world. Oh my god, it was so beautiful, and I was so excited. And then the expansion came out, and honestly, not even gonna sugarcoat it, it feels like an overpriced game pack because of the fact that the world is so gorgeous and beautiful. But honestly, like, all you can do is go into the water. That's it. And people have been wanting that for the longest, but be careful what you choose for, because what you choose for might only be the thing that you get. And honestly, feels like that's all that you get. The mermaids are lackluster. And there's not much to do in that world and in that expansion. You play it for like 30 minutes. I feel like you've done it all. I don't know. Personally, it's just really, it was so hyped. And I was so hyped. Maybe not everybody else, but I was super hyped for that expansion, and it let me down completely. I was burned, and never will I hype something up so much like I did that expansion, or any expansion, honestly. So, and then we got another question asked, what future packs do you want? And if I'm being 100% honest, I have no future packs that I want anymore, because University was what I was dying for. And now that we get it and it's coming out November 15th, there's nothing else that I want. If I really wanted to come up with something in my mind, I guess it would be Generations from Sims 3, because like I was saying previously, Sim teens, children, and elders really need to be fixed. Like, they really need some kind of overhaul or something for them to do. It's just so sad, and honest, you can't do it. You just skip over those life stages because there's nothing to do with them. It just feels like a pack that's more catered to just young adults and living that young adult life, and that's it. So I really want some kind of generations pack, something for them, for something for those life stages to be able to do. We need it desperately, and that's probably now the last future pack that I want. Either that or cars, just because people are always moaning and groaning about it. And honestly, it'd be kind of funny to get that because in a stuff pack and just have the cars be decor, and then you can maybe drive into them and drive off and then into a loading screen. Honestly, that would be hilarious, because why do you want cars? You can't do anything with them. I understand people's point of view. Maybe you can get like cars that you can fix up and like that kind of activity, but it's not something that I really want. It's like snooze, boring. But I mean, I guess it'd be kind of funny and like nice to see people's wish come true. So that's basically it. That was the last question that we got in. You can always, again, submit anything on the other platforms that I mentioned earlier, which is Twitter, YouTube comments, Discord, and on the emails. So you can always find us there. Drop in any topics or questions or whatever you may want to hear in future podcast episodes. So that is it for this podcast. It was really long. So yeah, I love that for us. This is a good return back to the podcast, to the Plumbob Cafe. Ooh. Anyways, I'm going to sign off. Thank you guys so much for tagging along with me and listening in. I appreciate it so much, and I hope you guys have a good day, a good afternoon or evening, wherever you are in the world. And I will not see, but I guess just sounds appropriate. I will see you all next time. So bye for now. Bye, everyone.